Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Loki Kia in Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? I have the total redesign of one of Kia's smaller crossover SUVs. What am I talking about? This vehicle right here. This is a 2027 Kia Seltos. This particular one is an SX all-wheel drive X-Line trim, and it's featured in the new color called Terrain Brown. But before we just dive in to their smaller size crossover, let's talk about what's going on here. So Kia wants to make sure, that there is an SUV in their lineup for everyone. And where the Seltos slots in is right before the Sportage. You know, with the outgoing Soul, the Soul was the entry level, right? That was the smallest. Now the Seltos will be the smallest, then it goes Sportage, then you could step up to Sorento, and of course the top dog, the Telluride. Now with this redesign, they're trying to make this be like a Telluride light. And what I mean by that is they're taking a lot of that new styling that they're bringing to the Telluride, 2027 Telluride, but they're also bringing some special touches for this smaller class of SUV. So what I want to find out is this the must-own, especially with all the amenities that you're getting? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this one and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, you'll see that very familiar now signature Kia style, and I really like the way they did the front end. At the front of the business, look at how they actually separated your vertical turn signal and daytime running lamp, but then you'll notice that you have also a turn signal that extends into the actual headlight housing. Now working our way down, the Terrain Brown looks great, nice metallic metal flake to it. You do have some LED fog lamps. I just don't know why they had to put this here. Like, I'd rather it just be all gray, to be honest with you, than have this vertical kind of ridge little thing going on there. But it's a combination of gloss black with the gunmetal, but this is the new face. Nice bold body line for the Seltos, especially when you look on the side closest to that daytime running lamp housing. Now, as we come across the front tiger nose grille, you can see how the hood dips down and the nose comes up a little bit. Forward-facing camera on this SX trim. Fully functional upper grille. Working our way down, we have the Terrain Brown, or Terrain color brown. And then I guess you could put the two together and call it Terrain. That's a new color I just came up with. Gloss black, a lot of gloss black on the lower portion, but you'll notice that there is an intercooler behind the functional lower grille venting because this is turbocharged. And then very interesting how they're doing the lower nose portion. It's like a splitter with skid plate garnish put on top of it. Haven't seen something like that in a design in an SUV, but let me know what you think about the face of this Seltos. Now, as we rise up, love that Kia badge, nice and flat black, bold lines, and this is all you need. You don't need a bunch of folds like a paper airplane. You could just have your two indentations and that's it. It gives it a lot of character, and I like the way the nose kind of sits up a little higher, the nose when I'm talking about the hood. Now when I come around the bend, what do we have? Wheel and tire. Black is the color. You could have any Kia wheel as long as it's black. That seems to be their go-to now, but it's sort of like a spinning star with that square, large square lug nut cover in the center there with the Kia badge. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size? 19 inches in diameter. Tires are going to be 235 on the width, 45 series sidewall, and then they use a bit of a ton of gloss black around the fender opening. I guess it looks fine with the Terrain color. It just, I don't know, gloss black. It looks great when it's brand new, but give it 3 years and we all know what it's going to look like. So let me know your thoughts. This one is all-wheel drive, so it's front-wheel drive bias, and then it sends power to the rear wheels through a mechanical drive shaft. But let me know what you think about the wheel style with this particular Terrain Brown color. Now when we come down the side, you do have gloss black on the mirror caps with some Terrain. I like the way they integrated the two colors. LED turn signals, 360-degree cameras from the side. This is technically a subcompact. So what does this go up against? This goes up against like the Honda HR-V, the Mazda CX-30, the Nissan Kicks, so on and so forth. Now up top, you do have roof rails, gloss black. They're close to that body line. I do like the way they're giving it a nice flat roof. And it looks even flatter because of how they black out the A-pillars. Flush mounted door handles, first time on a Seltos. And then you have a blending of some gloss black with that gunmetal gray finish that we saw on the nose. Now coming to the rear, I like the way they shape the quarter glass. This is all glass. And then you'll notice up top you have the gunmetal gray. Very interesting to do that rather than just gloss black the heck out of it. And then interesting how, like I say, you just put a little bit of design there, a little indentation, just makes this corner look very tasteful. Spin around back, hey listen to Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. No exposed wiper. This might be the only subcompact in its class that doesn't have an exposed wiper. So the wiper is tucked underneath that nice long roof spoiler, everything color matched. You'll see our LED lighting looking great. The X-Line badge, because this is an SX line. And then of course the Seltos name in black. Look at the way they did the design. Very, very nice touch. And I like the way that the turn signals aren't mounted low. I hate that. I hate that setup. Now working our way down, just like up front, you have some gunmetal gray finish on the corners. Smart place to put the reflectors. And then on the bottom here of the rear bumper, you do have your LED reverse lights. Smart place to put those. But since I showed you the exterior, now it's time to pop the hood and talk about the drivetrain in this all new Seltos. All right guys, you got your hood popped. You do have hood struts underneath the hood. Like it says, turbo. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, turbo actually meant something. Now it really doesn't mean much of anything. But what do we have going on? You have a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4. It's putting out 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. So if you go turbo, you're getting the 8-speed. If you go non-turbo, you're getting a CVT. All-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. Ours has all-wheel drive. 0 to 60 in about 6.9 seconds. It'll tow up to 2,000 pounds. MPGs, 24 in the city, 30 on the highway. And the vehicle itself weighs right at 3,294 pounds. So, like I said, nice to see the 8-speed automatic, at least on the turbo. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and see this all-new Seltos roll. All right, guys, we're in it. We're in this redesign Seltos in terrain brown with the turbocharged power plant, SX trim, all-wheel drive, excellent. So this one's got a lot of the goodies. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I like this new Seltos, but am I gonna love the price? That's a good question. This particular one has all the bells and whistles that you could think of. So an MSRP of right at $37,000. But let's see how the Seltos separates itself from the rest of the pack. Are you ready? To the door panels. Very simple design. I almost want to say it's a little too simple, but soft touch material up top. I like the way they shape the door handle to pop the door open. You do have heated seats and ventilated seats on a subcompact. Nice little gunmetal gray trim along the edge there. And then you do have a soft armrest, Harman Kardon sound system, and a door pocket that's good enough, I would say, probably for 2 paninis from Panera and a large strawberry lemonade. Now going from the door panel to the dash, soft touch. They really pushed the dash nice and far forward. Slide on in, you got 2, not 1, but 2 12.3-inch screens. This is what Kia is putting in all their vehicles. And you do have your little touch screen here for your AC to bring up your AC controls. You could use the screen or you could use the actual switchgear. I'll show you that in a second. Of course, we have all that familiar apps, icons, a bike carrier mode, the whole 9 yards. Easy swipe. How about the cameras? Boom, look how clear they are. I'm telling you right now, go into a Honda HR-V, I promise you the camera's not gonna be that clear. It's gonna be like looking through a potato. This though, nice resolution, the trajectory, you got your 360 spin, that's Steven's favorite, and then we're right back where we started. Here's your real physical buttons and knobs. You got your dual climate. You could adjust your blower fan, so that's really nice. Down below you have 3 USB-Cs, wireless charging, a place for a Snickers so you don't get hangry. This is gonna control your 8-speed automatic. Behind it is your gray start-stop button with the gunmetal gray finish there. 2 cup holders, same Kia key fob, that's fine. And then of course you could put a pencil here. You could put your Big Dipper. I remember back when I was in elementary school, we used to pencil fight all the time. And in the school store, they sold this pencil. It was bright red, and it was about that thick of a pencil, girth-wise, and it was called the Big Dipper. And I remember that was the one that if you wanted to really put up a good fight pencil fighting, you better have the Big Dipper or you're gonna get your butt handed to you. Another thing we used to do here, this is good. We used to take the eraser, pull it out with our teeth, and then you would bite down on the metal edge that holds the eraser in place, and then you would sharpen it on the sidewalk during lunch or recess so that you could really inflict ultimate damage and carnage on your opponent's pencil. The funny thing is, we never won anything. I guess it was all about bragging rights, right? It was all about bragging rights. Soft material on the armrest, lift it up. You got a 12 volt, and you got enough room in there. I would probably say you could put 8 cake pops. I'll be honest with you, even though I mentioned the cake pops, I don't like cake pops. It's not enough cake. Like if I'm gonna eat some cake, I want a slice of cake. I don't want a little round testicle size ball of cake. That's not gonna do it for me. Might do it for some, not for me. Seats, soft touch. This is the new thing now. They're putting this cloth headrest. They say it's supposed to be more comfortable. I don't know, guys. I think they're trying to save some money on the trim. But I do love the way they did the seats. You do have manual control for the passenger. I have full electric, but here's the crescendo. You ready for this? That was me, not the power shade. So you actually have a panoramic sunroof with a power shade. Panoramic, not standard. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the all-new wheel in the all-new Seltos. Hi guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have the controls for your seats. This is your heated seats, heated steering wheel, and ventilated seats. And you got 2 memory seat settings. Controls are easy to get to, and then you could go into full recline mode. So if you pull over somewhere and you need to take a nap, hopefully you're doing it in a safe place, and hopefully you haven't been drinking, because even if you're drunk and you're sitting behind a wheel of a vehicle, you are gonna get arrested for DUI. And I don't condone drinking and driving. No need in today's world, especially with Uber and Lyft and everything else that's out there. That's my little, I'll get off my soapbox right now. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here, steering wheel, love the leather. Really nice. I like the way everything's flat black, no fingerprints. You do have drive modes and terrain modes because this is all-wheel drive, and you do have a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And of course, the rest of the digital display, 12.3 inches with the beautiful, look at that, the corner cameras, really nice. And then of course you have your modes, sport and normal. Let's just keep it simple, I like that. And then you have your terrain modes. So nice to have it just straightforward. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the back seat of this new Seltos and see if your passengers have something to rave about. All right guys, cargo area time. Hit the button, hit it, don't quit it. Rises up, nice electric assist. What are you gonna be greeted to? So with the seats up, with the back seats up, you're gonna be greeted to 28 cubic feet of space. Fold down the rear seats, it's gonna give you 64 cubic feet of space. And as you can see, the rear seats do fold down 60-40. I like the way they put this nook here. This is perfect for 2 bottles of cold Yoo-hoo. I don't like warm Yoo-hoo. Don't give me a warm Yoo-hoo. I need to have my Yoo-hoo chilled. You do have these things that slide, so you could actually adjust where you put some tie-down locations, which are kind of cool because then you could control any of your you know, produce or cans or whatever when you're going to the grocery store. And then underneath you do get a spare, which is fantastic. So nice to see that as well. But why don't we go ahead, hit the button, comes on down nicely. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a spin in this all new Seltos. All right guys, backseat time, and they did a heck of a job. It's like crazy how much room they give you. Even with the panoramic sunroof, you do have that little kind of hanger here that you could put your Letterman jacket from when you were back on the football team, and that was like the peak of your life existence. That's why you reminisce about it constantly while you're rubbing your football. And then we do have AC vents, which is nice. Of course, we got a double slotted Twinkie holder here, 2 Twinkies, and you have your USB-Cs. Seats, wow, look at that. They recline quite a bit. Let me see if they slide. No slide, but they recline very nicely. And then you pull this down, ooh, soft, 2 cup holders. And they did a nice job on the seat design to make it match up front. But why don't we go ahead, let's get the cargo area and see if there's enough room for you to stuff all your balls in the back of this Seltos. All right, guys, we're inside this 2027 Kia Seltos, this being the SX trim with all-wheel drive. And right away, you're gonna love how this interior is set up in here. The way that they did the layout of the dash, the infotainment system, all those different goodies is organized super well when you're behind the wheel of this vehicle. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put it into sport mode. That is gonna change the look of the gauges a little bit. And it's also, of course, going to change how the engine and the transmission behave with one another. The 8-speed, of course, shifts very nicely. And if you don't go with the turbo, you are gonna get a CVT. Just something to be aware of. Getting to the 12.3-inch infotainment system is well within reach. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by how peppy the Seltos is with the 1.6-liter turbocharged inline 4. Seats are very, very supportive. Love the material. And the fact that you have heated and ventilated seats in a subcompact. Beautiful blind spot cameras. And if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. 8-speed drops down and we are off and running. Smooth shifts, like I said, and that's even in sport mode. I'll take it out of sport mode and just go back to normal. But good visibility out the front of the vehicle, the way the A-pillars are pulled far apart. And the seats, like I said, are very, very supportive, very comfortable. Not a lot of storage. That's the one thing that I think is going to be bothersome for some people if you always have a bunch of snacks on you, is you don't have a lot of room for snacks. But if you want to forego the snacks and have the amenities, this is the way to go. On throttle. The cabin is nice and quiet. And you do have that panoramic sunroof, which is nice as well. Had a window open. Didn't even realize. And it was still quiet. Now it's even quieter. So that just goes to show that they did some good work to the rigidity of the chassis, the sound deadening material. All those things have been leveled up, so to speak. Even though I hate saying level up, it has leveled up. Just corny, I don't know. Rather just say, hey, things got better. They raised the goalposts. But like I said, just enough pep to make a U-turn and get out of not only other people's way, but your own way. You do have the different information that you could bring up in the center of the display, which is nice. And and just really a smooth operator. It's got a lot of the characteristics of the bigger brothers from the Sorento and the Telluride, but in a smaller wrapper. But I'm very curious to read what you have to say about this new Seltos in the comment section. So definitely make yourself heard, because I know Kia's gonna read through them. I'm definitely gonna read through them. The steering feels good. I like the shape of the wheel. Nice thickness to the rim. And just really a well laid out interior. But I hope that this has been a good, quick overall review of this Kia Seltos. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. Guys, always a pleasure to bring you something fresh, something new, and something hot off the press. Definitely got to thank Robert and the rest of the team over at Loki Kia for getting us access to this 2027, not 26, 27 redesigned Seltos. Now let me know what you think. For the moolah, do you think that this is really a good go-to if you're looking for a smaller size crossover SUV? Let me know down in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiders Rise family. Gotta get out to Stephen Flood, working the camera, working life. He's living the dream every single day. So thank you, Stephen, for sharing the dream with everybody. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.